Hi, hello everyone. This is Azara, and this is another episode of my podcast, La Revoltosa. What do we do in this podcast? You already know. We talk about the classes that we have at RMA for acting for stage and screen at University of East London. And in today's episode, we are going to see what we saw yesterday with Ed at his class, Tuesday, 14th of March. So we started with a very nice exercise. It was a bit of dance and choreography, which was good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 steps and turn, and 4 steps and turn, as easy as that. Well, we quite didn't get it that right at the first time, so we repeated it a few times. So the aim of this exercise was, I suppose, it was to be on focus. And then Ed asked us to just make 4 gestures that we see in London. So I chose holding a coffee. It's something that all Londoners do. They always have a coffee cup with them. Then just searching over your phone. Another one was holding the handle of the underground. And then the last one was just eating a soup alone in a plate, which is something that really caught my attention. When I first came to London, I was like, wow, people here eat alone on the cafes. And they sit down by the window and they look outside and they eat alone. I was not used to see that. And then after living here for so many years, I realized that is something pretty normal. People could go out to eat by themselves because they either are at work or they're doing something and they're just in the middle of the street. So they just go to have lunch. And for me, it was always you go out to eat with a friend. So yeah, that stayed with me. So I chose those 4. So what we had to do is on the first beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, you were doing your first gesture, which mine was holding a cup. So Ed told me, maybe you can drink at the same time. I was like, yes, I will drink. And it was, I try not to do it with the tempo, so not a step and drink, a step and drink, but it was actually difficult to break the tempo. So doing one thing with your left foot, which was the one we were starting with, and then doing something opposite with your right hand. I tried. It was hard. And then on the spinning, you were doing your number 2, which mine was just looking through the phone. So what he wanted us to do is showing 2 different characters. So one was number 1. So for instance, very fast. And then you would have number 2 that was slow. And what he was saying to us is it was be very precise on your choices. So they clearly 2 different characters. And then on our way back, we were doing 3 and 4. So we were mixing 1, turn 2, 1, turn 2, 3, turn 4, 3, stop. It was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed the exercise. Then something that I found hilarious. So he asked us to be all together as if we were in the underground, in a very crowded. He didn't say crowded underground, but all of us got this idea that it was crowded. So we were very together, and we were just having fun together, to be honest, because we were very displaying around. Just with the movement of the wagon and the underground is moving really a lot. Certainly the underground doesn't move as much the wagons in general. They don't move that you don't feel the movements that much. So we did that, we had fun. And then what he was asking us is just be as you are in the underground. So don't make anything different, just be as you would normally be. And so we were doing that, and it was a lot of fun. And then from there, we went back to the exercise that we were doing. But then what we were doing was, after the second round, we could quickly go into the wagon, holding the wagon, So my pose was like I'm holding the rein, which I never do. I don't know why. It's like, I guess it's like the idea I had, like being in the underground. So you're like holding like, yes. And then looking through the phone. And then he was asking us, do 4 poses that they are very precise and very different. So it's like just kind of like maybe your hands on your waist, looking up, thinking, looking down, reading a book, something that was clearly different. And then from there we will go to 3, 4. So I think everyone had a lot of fun, and it felt very playful. And I guess, like, you know, when you are working with a group of actors, so the connection that you have with the other actors is very important. And sometimes it's not going to happen that you have connection. Sometimes it does. And so I really enjoyed doing that exercise at the beginning, because it brought us together and it was beautiful. And we were very connected with each other. Then we moved into a rehearsal. So we are doing the play Grief by David Cantunas. And this time I think it's scene 5. So we're just doing the scenes one after the other one, like rehearsing it. And we can be during the rehearsals, or we can be outside. I like to be during the rehearsal, because it's normally giving not only notes to the actors that they rehearse in the scene, but sometimes like some notes come up for all of us. So it's interesting to be there and like being able to catch up with that. And then as well, like seeing how your colleagues are doing the scene, because all of us, we are playing Pete. So how is that Pete? And then talking about Pete, so yesterday Ed told us, like, we all have to think about the given circumstances of our characters, so our Pete and the other character that we are playing. Most of us are playing 2 characters, and so going back to their given circumstances, to their backup story. So where are they from? Where did they grow up? Where did they go to school? Do they watch Netflix? What do they like to eat? You can go very, very deep in their back story. So more detailed is the backup story, more you have to play with your character. And so more things come out when you're doing your performance naturally, because you are so in tune with the character that you're playing, like you know your character so well. So he said that to us, and then he reminded us about listening, how important is to listen. So and being in the moment. He was mentioning, he gave a tip for all of us about the voicing. So about speaking with your own voice. So some actors had the tendency of going like this, being very quiet, out of like, I don't know, it's like it happens. So what he was saying, like he as a director, so he will pick up our habits and he will point at us and like, okay, you do this, be aware of that. Maybe you can do something to change it. So the voicing is just bringing it in, as he was saying, like you want to bring it out, like it's more interesting when you bring it out for the people, and so people can hear you and can understand the energy that you give into that rather than keeping it for yourself. And same thing applies for your applies to your instincts. If you feel like doing something, then do it, don't keep it in. So it's like if you have this moment of tension or rage, like don't say like and keeping it here, like like shout, bang to something, you know, give it all. And so that was a nice tip. And I'm just linking this with something I've been told by one of my teachers at identity drama school. And we had a performance on Monday, and she was saying, when we were doing our rehearsal, she was saying, I've never heard nobody complaining of an actor in theater overdoing something. So Ed told us something similar. It's like, go big, go big. Don't be scared of being big. Just go big. You know, you can always bring it down. But sometimes going bigger makes things more interesting to watch. So he told us that. And then he gave us another tip about Pete. And he said, like, he's creating a life that is not based in the truth. So that was something to think about. How, you know, some people, it is true, like some people live in a lie that they have made for themselves, for their own life. And that's the way they have to carry on or to deal with their life. So that was something nice. And another tip he gave us yesterday was finding the truth of the character. So what this character is saying, like, where is this character living, you know? Because the truth is not the truth that you believe, it's the truth of the character. And yesterday they were giving some examples about something different, a different topic, but related to how many times we have met experts that they are not such, but they play as experts. And so I remember one of us was mentioning about the vaccine, and like he remembers how at the beginning of the pandemic, or when the vaccine was coming out, there were a lot of people talking about how everything was fake and it was created. And I don't want to go into that discussion. It's like, feel free to think wherever you want. But I'm bringing this example as the idea of the truth. So in this case, so we have two different people and all of them are saying the truth. It's true what they are saying for all of them. It's just for one of them, this is the truth, the truthful thing or reality. And for the other group is this one. So none of them are lying. So that's about the truth, like what's the truth of your character. And another thing that he said, and I really like it, was like, the job of an actor is to open the possibility of the next part of the conversation. So we have done, we have done in the past these exercises, like you do an improvisation. And so how it goes, you help your partner to carry on with the conversation with you. So you don't say statements that they really cut down your partner. So your partner has nothing to say. So as an actor, it's like you should open the door for your partner to continue the conversation with you and carrying the conversation with you and saying, you know, carrying on with the scene, which is like what it is. So I love that. I found it like very interesting. And then about the play, so I'm taking my notes. About the play, he was saying to us, where is this play taking us, and who is this play addressing, addressed to? Where are we in the play? And then this is an advice that he has given us before, and yesterday he was like reinforcing, and I do agree with him. Like on my little experience, I've seen that, and I was shocked when I saw that. So it's the power of the walk. Like walk as your character would walk. Don't walk as you, because you are you have your personality, and you have, you know, the center of your balance somewhere, and you have a way of walking, but your character is different from you. So change the walk. Don't walk as you do walk. I like that. And yes, I think what he was mentioning about being in the moment, and really listening was about, as well as don't get this as you already know what that person is saying to you. It's like you have to hear that the first time. Don't play that you have already heard that, which you have done because you have rehearsed the play many times and you know what your partner is saying to you almost at some stages. Like at some point you even don't know the lines of your partner, but you have to play the moments and really being very truthful to what you are being said. I personally don't read the lines of the actor with whom I'm doing the scene, so I really skip the lines. So I go through my lines only. So, and sometimes I look a bit like how is the end, because I don't want to cut them if it doesn't come natural. I mean, if it doesn't come natural for me, like to talk, but yes, I try not to look at their lines. So it's really honestly the first time I'm hearing what they're saying to me. And on the top of that, my memory is very short. So I can do the scene like few times. I still don't know what the person is gonna say to me because I'm not gonna memorize straight away what that person is gonna say to me. So if I'm doing the scene 5-6 times, it's gonna be still like this the first time I heard what the person is saying to me. The only thing where it changes is like I just have this feeling of like whatever that person is saying to me is like short, is one line, or is like 2 or 3 lines. So I know I should not cut the person. Anyway, it comes natural to respond at the time that that person finishes talking. And I sometimes cut them, but I do that in my life as well, like real life, which is a very bad habit, but I do it and I'm sorry. But sometimes I think if it comes natural to cut them, then it's okay. You know, it's like as far as it's truthful what you're doing, then I guess it's fine. So yes, listening to things for the first time. And then what he was saying was about not acting for ourselves. So don't focus on yourself so much, you know, don't be like me. So be with your partner, like look at your partner, react to your partner, listen to your partner. And another advice that we were giving yesterday was about breathing. So deliver with your breathing. And that's advice I've been given before by some teachers with whom I was doing voice. And I've been reading a book about voice, and it's the same, like you breathe out and you speak, you know. And actually I was doing that on Monday on the play. So I was doing this part of this scene where 2 people that had a relationship before and they split. Fine, like they just meet by chance somewhere. And it's the scene about second chances and unspoken words. And it was very touching because, you know, it's like all of us had somebody who we loved and perhaps didn't go the way that we wanted. And maybe you had this second opportunity and still didn't go that way. So c'est la vie. So I do remember, so it's like on the scene, like how we were starting, like he was calling me and then I was like turning, I was like, oh wow. And I was just doing that because I thought I was doing it not because I was constantly thinking, oh, I need to breathe out and then speaking, but I thought, how could I do this in real life? It's like if I see this guy calling me, this particular guy, and I was like, wow, you breathe, and you're like, wow, you take it out. So I did it, and I feel very proud because I remember it. Well, yes, those are the, sorry, I'm just going, I'm maybe cheeky today. Those are the tips that Ed gave us yesterday, and that's what we did yesterday. We looked as well as some of the slogans, like Alicia made, I think she wrote like 7 of them. They were sick, they were very good. And so Ed was saying to us as well, like to do a TikTok video and start basically creating the material that we're gonna be using for the play, because we're probably gonna use some video images, and maybe it's just an idea, so we better have some material for that. And I'm personally very excited about this project, because it doesn't only imply acting, but you know, implies as well doing graphic design or creating story, because there's a advertising campaign. And so yeah, I'm excited about it. I want to do some things. And my last tip, but this is a tip that Ed gave to me as an extra bonus, let's put it that way. And this is the tip I'm sharing with you guys whose English is not the first language, and particularly with you guys whose Spanish is the first language. So first of all, and this is like in addition to what Ed told me, like the extra bonus. So pay attention to your D's and T's. So I know, guys, we pronounce it, we do, but we pronounce it so soft that people don't hear us, and they think we don't pronounce it, and then they think we're saying something else, which is not, because we know we pronounce it. Right, guys? We do know it, but they don't hear it. So we have to say, I heard in it. Well, I don't think we say in it, but it's like it. Step. Anyway, that was the P. But yeah, these and T's at the end, at the end, and not end, and you see, and that's how I would say and I'm pronouncing the D. I'm telling you and. But you should do end, okay, and T's. So spot instead of spot, because I'm saying the T, spot, but it doesn't sound spot. So the extra bonus of, sorry about this, very long. The extra bonus of Ed was elongate your vowel. So when you have your consonants good, then you have to elongate your vowels. So yes, having a bit more play with your vowels. And this is my challenge for this week, elongating my vowels. So Spanish speakers, elongate your vowels. Okay, so this is everything for today's episode. I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.